I'm this Alite kid. When I came home and I got out of prison, he threw me a couple of dollars right away. First guy. So I try to reciprocate by saying, he's a good guy, he's a tough guy, he's this, he's that. You try to help him with his show and all that bullshit. Then he wanted me to come on and do certain things, and I didn't want to be bothered with that. I'm a truthful person. If I do something, listen, I take credit for that, or maybe that's not the word credit, but I take my responsibilities for what I did. I mean, I got people that'll call me, I got people's kids that murders I'm involved, and I spoke to them. People's families, I spoke to them. This is what happened. This is what it was. This is what the truth is. Because a lot of them stuff they hear is lies.
The thing about Sammy is, you know, he's famous for one reason. I mean, he's pretty famous. He's well known, and he's famous because he ratted on John Gotti. I mean, that's as simple as that. If it wasn't John Gotti that he spoke about, really, not too many people would know who he is. And he's a good liar. He's good at lying. And when he goes ahead and he tells his story, he doesn't start from the beginning. At the beginning of Sammy's career, he wasn't around gangsters. He had no money. He was broke. He was in his 20s. He had really very small affiliation when he was younger. He was running around with some guys and gang members and whatever they were doing. Yeah, okay, he did kid shit. It's not impressing anybody. We're all on the street. And he really is a fraud. I mean, he's somewhat of a gangster, don't get me wrong. When you're talking about a gangster, I'm talking about what we said on the other show about Lucky Luciano. That's a well-dressed guy, right? Carries himself well. I'm going to start from each section. Sammy isn't a well-dressed guy, and he wasn't well-spoken. He wasn't very educated, and he's not a well-dressed guy. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. There's the difference between a smart guy like a Lucky Luciano who brought in anybody that was a gangster, was tough, into an organization. And trust me, but Sammy doesn't understand. If John doesn't die or doesn't go to jail, I was the Albanian that was going to kill him. I'm the guy that was going to make sure that Sammy didn't ever talk. So he can believe it, not believe it, I really don't care. But when he talks about putting in work, he did nothing. The rest of it is he's changing history. And, you know, from what I understand, I don't watch Mikey Scars' shows, and I don't watch, and I heard Mikey Scars goes after him pretty good. So I don't know if he covered any of this, but I don't know if he fires back at Mikey either. And Anthony Ruggiano was a nice guy. He's just harmless, and he used him. He put him on the show, and, you know, does it bother me that Anthony went on? Of course it does. He was my friend, and, you know, it goes back to loyalty. He knows that the guy owes me money. He knows the guy talks nonsense, you know, and if you're going to go on there, you should have told him, listen, pay back the money, and I ain't going on the show, or and don't talk about the guy because you don't know anything you're talking about. And he's talking to me about kids because I'm doing all the talks at schools. I go, what you should do is talk to these kids in schools and everything. And his answer, and he can deny it or not, which obviously he's going to deny. He says, fuck the kids. If they're too stupid to know and see for themselves, that's on them. And we haven't, this is what causes the argument. And I said to him, you sound like an idiot talking like that. And then he says, watch the way you talk. And I go, fuck you, who the fuck are you? Thinking, watch the way I talk. I'll talk to you any way I want. He's broke, so he's constantly asking me for money because he's got no money for somebody. So finally I said, all right, I'll send you $3,000. And now he admits I gave him the $3,000. He owes me $3,000. That's the point. So he's got to pay me.
Business bad? Fuck you, pay me. Oh, you had a fire? Fuck you, pay me. Place got hit by lightning, huh? Fuck you, pay me.